Stop right where you are and realize that every second you spend doubting your worth is a second you are actively sabotaging your own destiny. Look at your life not as a collection of random days, but as a series of strategic surrenders that you have the power to end right now. How many times have you walked into a room and physically shrunk yourself just to make others feel more comfortable in their own mediocrity? How many times have you suppressed your own brilliance because you were conditioned to believe that someone else held more authority, more talent, or a more divine right to lead than you do? You have been fed a poison of false humility, a lie that suggests staying small is a virtue, when in reality it is a betrayal of the life force within you. Every moment you spend waiting for your turn is a moment you are dying a slow, quiet death of the soul. The hardest truth you will ever face is that the only barrier between your current reality and your ultimate potential is your own refusal to step up and claim the throne. It is never about luck. It is never about the stars aligning, and it is never about being discovered. It is about you, in this frozen moment of time, deciding that you are worth the war required to win. The Stoics understood this internal rebellion 2,000 years ago, realizing that the external world is a chaotic storm that only obeys the man who has conquered his own spirit. Epictetus, a man who was born into the literal chains of slavery, did not wait for a master to grant him permission to be great. He declared himself a king within the boundaries of his own mind. He taught us with brutal clarity that while we cannot control the cards we are dealt, we have total, absolute, and non-negotiable command over the ferocity with which we play the hand. Today we are deploying the most dangerous response a human can have to a world that wants you to be average. We are deciding to act as if we are the best, because the moment you believe it, the world has no choice but to reflect it. You must realize that feeling ready is a trap designed by your ego to keep you safe, stagnant, and ultimately forgotten by history. We all face the great shadow of doubt, that corrosive whispering voice that tells you you're not ready yet, or who are you to lead? But you must learn to use that doubt as the very signal that it is time to strike. The world-class athlete and the legendary philosopher feel the same biological fear you do, but they have learned to transform that fear into the high-octane fuel that drives their performance. Marcus Aurelius sat at the head of the most powerful empire in human history, facing plagues, invasions, and the betrayal of his closest friends. Yet he never waited for the feeling of confidence to arrive. He commanded his own mind to get to work, reminding himself that waiting for the perfect moment is a form of mental suicide. You become the best by deciding to be the best while you are still bleeding, while you are still tired, and while the path is still shrouded in darkness. When you act as if you're the best, you aren't just putting on a mask. You are performing a radical act of internal defiance that rewires your very DNA. You are signaling to your nervous system that you are no longer the prey, but the predator in the arena of your own life. This mindset is the ultimate psychological armor, protecting you from the opinions of small-minded people who are terrified of your sudden transformation. Understand that acting as if you are the best has nothing to do with the loud, fragile noise of arrogance, and everything to do with the immovable silence of the master. Arrogance is a scream for attention from a hollow soul, whereas Stoic confidence is the quiet hum of a machine that knows exactly what it was built to do. Think of the master craftsman who handles his tools with a reverence and a precision that borders on the divine. He doesn't need to brag because his excellence is self-evident. This is the ancient Greek concept of Arete, the relentless pursuit of your highest possible expression in every single action you take. Acting like you're the best means holding yourself to a standard so high that no critic, no boss, and no competitor could ever dream of. Demanding more from you than you already demand from yourself. It means that when you work, you do so with the terrifying focus of a man who knows his time is limited. It means that when you speak, your words carry the weight of a mountain because they are backed by the integrity of your actions. It means that when you face a setback, you don't crumble like glass, but you absorb the impact like steel, becoming harder and sharper with every blow. There is a profound dignity in this level of self-expectation that makes arrogance unnecessary and insecurity impossible. You are not seeking to be better than others for the sake of a trophy. You are seeking to be so superior to your past self that you become a different species altogether. This is the sovereign standard, and once you set it, you will find that the world begins to clear a path for you simply because it recognizes the aura of a person who will not be stopped. For those of you sitting in the dark right now thinking, "But I'm at the absolute bottom," I need you to understand that the bottom is the perfect place to build a foundation of absolute supremacy. You do not wait to win to start acting like a winner. You act like a winner until the universe is forced to hand you the victory. This is the feedback loop of greatness, a biological reality where your actions dictate your identity, which in turn dictates your future. Your brain possesses a system called the reticular activating system, a filter that decides what you notice and what you ignore, based on your internal self-image. If you act as if you are the best, your brain will literally start hunting for opportunities, power moves, and connections that a person of low status would never even see. You will begin to notice the gaps in the market, the weaknesses in your competition, and the hidden strengths in your own character that were previously buried under the weight of your self-doubt. When you flip the switch and act with the certainty of a master, your very posture changes, your testosterone levels rise, and your presence begins to command the room before you even open your mouth. This is not faking it until you make it. This is becoming the reality you have chosen to inhabit. The Stoics taught that our judgments are the only things we truly own. So if you judge yourself to be the best, that judgment becomes the filter through which you view every challenge. The job interview, the high-stakes negotiation, the moment of crisis. These are all won or lost in the mind long before the first word is spoken. The most dangerous individual on the planet is the one who acts like a king but learns like a slave. The best are never satisfied. They are eternally hungry, driven by the realization that the moment you think you have arrived, you have actually begun your descent. Seneca, who moved through the highest circles of Roman power, never allowed his status to dull his intellect, spending his final days refining his soul with the same intensity as a novice. Acting as if you are the best gives you the psychological security to admit exactly what you don't know without feeling threatened. You don't fear being a student because your self-worth is so high that a temporary lack of knowledge cannot shake it. You walk into a room of experts and you listen with the intensity of a predator, consuming their wisdom to add to your own arsenal. This is the humility of the sovereign. You are so committed to your potential that you are willing to look foolish in the short term to become undeniable in the long term. You aren't threatened by someone else's success. You study it, you deconstruct it, and you move past it. You are a student of the universe, and because you act as if you are the best, you have the discipline to do the boring, repetitive, and painful work that the average person avoids. You are polishing the diamond of your character every single day, knowing that true supremacy is a journey with no finish line. Do not ever fall for the seductive, hollow lie that striving to be the best is a selfish, cold, or narcissistic endeavor. It is, in fact, the most profoundly altruistic act you can perform for the human race. You must realize that your mediocrity serves no one. Your smallness does not help the world, and your refusal to shine does not make those around you safer. It only confirms their own fears that greatness is impossible. The Stoics lived by the cosmic law of sympathia, the unbreakable understanding that we are all threads in the same grand tapestry. And when you pull your thread tight, when you make it strong and vibrant, you strengthen the entire fabric of existence. Your personal excellence is not a private luxury. It is a public service that raises the frequency and the standards of the entire human collective. When you refuse to settle for a mediocre life, you are inadvertently giving everyone in your orbit the unspoken permission to do the same. You become a living, breathing proof of concept. Think deeply about the people who truly change the course of your life, the mentors, the leaders, the icons who stood for something. They didn't do it by being average. They didn't do it by blending in, and they certainly didn't do it by apologizing for their ambition. They did it by being so radically, unapologetically themselves, and so terrifyingly committed to their own greatness that they became a beacon of light in a dark, drifting world. They were the ones who stayed when others fled. They were the ones who built while others destroyed. When you walk with a bone-deep sense of purpose, when you handle a crushing life crisis with a stoic calm that defies logic, and when you demand a level of excellence from yourself that borders on the fanatical, you are setting a new high watermark for your family, your children, and your community. You are showing the young man watching you that he doesn't have to be a victim of his neighborhood. You are showing your colleagues that good enough is a death sentence for the soul. By raising the bar for your own existence, you are physically forcing the world around you to level up, to reach higher, and to run faster just to keep pace with the gravity of your presence. You become the anchor in the middle of the hurricane, the immovable point that others look to when their own worlds are on fire and they have lost their way. Acting like the best means you have developed the spiritual and mental muscle to carry the weight of others who haven't yet found their strength. You earn the wisdom to lead them not through lectures, but through the undeniable authority of your results. You become the living evidence that self-doubt is a choice, not a destiny, and that fear is a ghost that vanishes when confronted by a sovereign mind. You are not just winning a game for yourself. You are winning for every person who ever looked at you and wondered if they could be more, if they could do more, and if they could finally step out of the shadows and into the sun. The best do not pray for a smooth sea or a light wind. They pray for the strength to endure a devastating, soul-crushing gale and still steer the ship home with a grin on their face. You must understand that acting like the best means you have signed a blood contract with reality to accept every blow, every betrayal, every gut punch, and every unforeseen disaster with a smile of grim, predatory satisfaction. This is what the Stoics called amor fati, the love of fate. It is not a weak, passive acceptance of what happens. It is a fiery, active embrace of everything that comes your way, because you realize that the harder the life, the more friction is provided to sharpen the blade of your soul. A blade that never meets the whetstone stays dull and useless. A man who never meets tragedy stays soft and untested. Marcus Aurelius taught us that the best mind is not like a fragile candle that a small breeze can blow out. It is like a roaring, white-hot industrial bonfire. The more junk you throw into that fire, the more wood, the more trash, the more debris, the higher the flames reach and the more intense the heat becomes. To the sovereign mind, there is no such thing as bad luck. If you lose your job today, the best version of you sees it as a forced evolution, a violent push out of a comfortable nest so you can finally learn to fly higher. If you are rejected by someone you love, the best version of you sees it as the universe ruthlessly clearing away the clutter to make space for the empire you are destined to build. You must realize that there is zero room in your heart for the victim mindset. Why? Because victims are, by the very definition of the word, at the bottom of the hierarchy. They are the ones things happen to. The best are the ones who happen to things. The moment you complain about your circumstances, the moment you whine about the economy, your boss, or your upbringing, you are surrendering your sovereignty to those external forces. You are handing the remote control of your life to people who don't care about you. The best version of you looks at the wreckage of a failed plan, the smoking ruins of a dream, and immediately starts identifying the salvageable parts to build an even more formidable fortress. You are the sole architect of your own response, and because you act like the best, you realize that the obstacle isn't a wall blocking the path. The obstacle is the path. Every scar you earn in the trenches of life is not a mark of shame. It is a stripe of rank in the army of the sovereign. You don't ask for the pain to stop. You ask for the pain to be meaningful. You don't run from the chaos. You walk straight into the center of it, because you know that in the heart of the storm is where the real power is found. You are the fire that consumes the darkness, and you love the burn, because the burn is how you know you are still alive, still fighting, and still the undisputed master of your own destiny. Excellence is not a scenic destination where you can eventually park your car, kick back and rest on your laurels. It is a relentless 24-hour-a-day, high-heat forge where the raw ore of your character is hammered, folded and tempered into an unbreakable blade. You must understand that there is no off-duty for the sovereign mind. Every single morning, the moment your eyes snap open and the first breath of consciousness enters your lungs, you are not just waking up, you are entering a theater of total war. This is a war of attrition where the primary enemies are your own craving for comfort, your own seductive laziness, and your own pathetic, deep-seated desire to be liked and validated by people who don't even matter to your destiny. The best version of you is never born in the warm glow of the spotlight or the hollow applause of the crowd. He is built in the suffocating silence of the dark, in the freezing hours of the early morning before the rest of the world has the courage to wake up, and in those secret, invisible moments when no one is watching, and you choose the hard path over the easy one. This is where the steel of the soul is made. While the masses are hitting the snooze button and begging for 5 more minutes of delusion, the sovereign individual is already in the trenches, hardening his mind for the struggle to come. To live as the best, your sovereign protocol for the day must be absolute, non-negotiable, and executed with the cold precision of a military operation. 1. Command the morning, the dictator's ritual. You do not wake up to react to the world. You wake up to dictate your terms to it. Most people begin their day in a state of digital slavery, reaching for a smartphone, scrolling through the opinions of strangers, and allowing the chaotic agenda of the world to colonize their minds before they've even stood up. This is a total surrender of power. The best version of you understands that the first hour of the day is the golden hour of the spirit. It must be guarded with a ferocity that borders on the fanatical. This hour is spent in deep, heavy silence, in the rigorous study of ancient wisdom, and in the physical preparation of the body. You are not just exercising, you are building the mental and physical armor required to survive the crushing weight of the day's battles. You are forging a state of mind that is so stable, so centered, and so detached from the triviality of the masses that when you finally step out into the world, you do so as a force of nature, not a victim of circumstance. You use this time to visualize the obstacles ahead and to preemptively defeat them. You decide before the sun is even up that nothing, no insult, no delay, no catastrophe will have the power to breach the walls of your internal fortress. 2. The clinical audit, the execution of weakness. Throughout the chaotic flow of the day, you must observe your own internal dialogue with the cold, detached eye of a hawk circling its prey. Most people are oblivious to the toxic stream of self-sabotage running through their heads, the whispers of "I'm tired, maybe tomorrow," or "Who am I to do this?" The sovereign mind treats these thoughts as enemy insurgents. You do not negotiate with them. You do not explore them. You execute them with stoic prejudice the moment they appear. When a thought of weakness, hesitation, or the feeling of not being good enough arises, you must perform an immediate, clinical audit. You halt the thought in its tracks and replace it instantly with the ultimate, sovereign question. How would the greatest, most powerful, most legendary version of me handle this exact moment right now? If the best version of you wouldn't complain about the rain, then you don't complain about the rain. If the best version of you wouldn't hesitate to make the call, then you make the call before the fear has time to take root. You are acting as a relentless gatekeeper to your own consciousness, ensuring that only thoughts of power, virtue, and strategic action are allowed to live. This is how you bridge the gap between who you are and who you are destined to be, by ruthlessly acting as if that future self is already occupying your body. 3. Aggressive consistency, the law of the unstoppable. You must burn the idea that you need a perfect plan to succeed. Perfection is a stalling tactic used by the cowardly to avoid the pain of the arena. What you need is not a flawless strategy. You need a plan that you are willing to die for every single day, executed with a level of aggressive consistency that terrifies your competition. The best in any field are rarely the most naturally talented, the fastest, or the most brilliant. They are simply the ones who stayed in the fight the longest. They are the ones who show up when they are sick, when they are heartbroken, when their bank accounts are empty, and when the entire world is screaming at them to quit. Talent is a gift, but consistency is a choice. Talent can fail you, but the habit of showing up is a fortress. By acting as if you're the best every single hour, you are creating a massive, irresistible gravity that begins to pull your goals out of the future and into your present reality. You are building a character that is so dense, so disciplined, and so psychologically powerful that it becomes the center of its own universe. People will start to look at you and wonder why things seem to work out for you, not realizing that your success is the inevitable mathematical result of 1,000 small, invisible victories over your own laziness. When you live with this level of intensity, you are no longer a leaf being blown by the wind. You are the wind itself. You are building a life that is an undeniable monument to human will. This 24-hour war never ends. But that is the beauty of it, because in the struggle, you find your life. In the forge, you find your soul. You are not just winning a day, you are winning your existence. The time for permission is over. The time for shrinking yourself to fit into rooms that were never meant for you is dead. You are here because you have finally realized that the only person who can crown you is the person looking back at you in the mirror. You are here because you carry a soul that was meant to dominate its environment, not be suppressed by it. From this moment forward, I want you to walk with a different weight in your step. I want you to speak with a different resonance in your voice. I want you to handle every challenge as if you were literally engineered by the universe to overcome it. You are the best, not because you have a trophy on your shelf, but because you have a fire in your gut that refuses to be extinguished by the cold winds of reality. You are the sovereign of your own life. Walk into the world and act like it. Handle your business like it. Treat your body like it. Treat your mind like the sacred temple of a king. Thank you for choosing the path of the warrior and the philosopher. If you are ready to claim your empire, if you are done with the life of a spectator and ready to act as if no one is better than you, I want you to declare it to the universe. Leave a comment right now. Write, "The sovereign has arrived." Let the world wonder where you went. Let 2026 tremble at who you have become. Stay strong, stay grounded, stay sovereign.